Welcome back, learners. This session is going to be about learning the methods of appraisal. Performance appraisal, we have seen in the last lecture the traditional or past oriented methods of performance appraisal. In the modern methods or future oriented methods, there are 5 to 6 methods we are going to discuss. Out of them, this lecture will be discussing 2, and those are 360-degree performance appraisal and another is balance scorecard. So let us start with 360 degree. As the name suggests, the performance appraisal involves the feedback system from all the stakeholders who are associated with that particular employee. So if there is a salesman who is going into the fields and having some businesses done for the company may include asking the customers also and also the distributors to whom that customer is going to meet and dealing transactions. So it is not just the internal employees, his peer group or his subordinate superior manager will be giving the feedback of his performance, but also it will be up to whomsoever that person is contacting for the purpose of business. So this is called as 360-degree performance appraisal, where all the related perspectives are being checked and they are asked for the performance. So how it is conducted? This 360-degree is also a systematic procedure, because let us imagine that there is Mr. Akash and who is a sales and service engineer for any reason, for a western region for XYZ company. He is taking care of the sales and services for the spare parts and also the machineries which are sold by the companies to the industrial departments. What he is doing? He is taking orders, he is going for maintenances, and also he is doing some services to the machineries where and where required. Apart from this, he is also supposed to report his senior manager about all of his activities and also generate monthly reports for his performances, which are usually practiced by all the organizations. Now this person Akash is having a field job. He's been recruited by his manager and then he started his work where he is supposed to take the orders and also make some new orders. Now in this whole transaction he meets to the company's purchase managers, distributors, service engineers, and also he takes some orders from his receptionist or the person who is from the company side, who is letting him know what is the task for the day for him. So the company, these all people are different and placed at different places. And the kind of work he deals with all of them is also different. So can you ask the same question to all of these parties involved? No. So what you will have to do? You will have to design a set of questions to be asked to these people, and then you will receive their feedback. Based on that feedback, his performance will be dealt. So it may happen that he is very good with external customers and at the same time with his peers he is not having that harmonious relationship. This can be identified if there are such gaps. Those are possibly identifiable through these questionnaires. So the first step comes in 360-degree appraisal process is framing a questionnaire. So for all the related parties, different or similar as per the needs, the questionnaires will be prepared. Those again will be prepared systematically and by the experts so that they will not have any direct impact on the person's relationship with that, with whomsoever is giving his feedback. So once the questionnaire is prepared, another process comes or the factor is confidentiality. The confidentiality of the form has to be maintained. Sometimes this Mr. Akash will not be knowing that his company has asked about his performance to the various parties involved. It may also happen that without any questionnaire, the feedback can be just orally received from, let us say that the carriage person who is carrying those machineries to the place which he has ordered or which he is supposed to install in the company's premises. So this is very subtle act, and company tries to involve each and every person with whom that person is dealing. So most of those people on a to whom he is regularly meeting or to once he may, that can be asked. It may also happen that there is a telephonic conversation where the performance or the behavior or the approach of the Akash is being asked to the people. So will it happen that, oh, how was Akash with you? How he behaved with you? So instead of asking like this, how did you find the Akash behavior? So the questions are framed in a subtle and soft way so that they will not be hard enough and harsh enough to impact the responses of the respondents. So confidentiality also maintained, questionnaire is suitably designed, and third is communication. So this communication here we are talking about the trainings and certain programs through which the receiver of the questionnaire is being trained. So whomsoever receives this appraisal form is also trained that in what way he is supposed to receive the feedbacks, how he should approach to the various parties for the feedback of his employee, which manager is supposed to get the feedback form or who is supposed to send those feedback forms. Are they online or offline? If they are given offline, what are the ways? Sometimes it may also happen that companies practice one of the things that is taking letter of appreciation from the customer. So Mr. Akash will be asked that, okay Akash, you have to get the letter of appreciation from your regular customers. Now Akash is a key account manager who is handling important key accounts. That is, when we say key accounts, those are the accounts with the major orders or more amount of orders. So he is dealing with key accounts for the company. So he will ask to the customer's manager or to whomsoever he, like we say that whosoever is his point of contact. So he can ask his POCs about receiving an appreciation letter for his services provided. That appreciation letter is received from the customer and is given or submitted to the company. And this is how one way the feedbacks are received. So to the same person who has given him an appreciation letter, to cross-check this, company can send him another questionnaire. Now why this is done? It may happen that Akash may influence the respondent to give him a good response or a good feedback or a good appreciation letter. So to eliminate these manipulations, company also gives one questionnaire from its side to the same person, and this is how two-way feedback is received. This happens in communication. So what should be the way to receive these feedbacks? How these feedbacks are to be monitored and evaluated? This training is being given, and that there we say that is the way to communicate these evaluators about the appraisals. Then there happens administration after receiving these feedbacks, and these feedbacks are again monitored very closely, that whether all the parties are saying the same thing or they are directing a same attribute of his personalities and behaviors or not. The data is analyzed, it is recorded, and his whole performance can be portrayed with the help of that. And the last thing is results. So distributing these results to the respondent as well as, not most of the time to the respondent, but to Akash. This Akash will receive the performance report for him, and also his manager will be given the performance report. So this is how the 360-degree approach happens, wherein the loopholes or even the manipulations in anybody's behavior can be identified. This approach itself has some loopholes, that when the 360-degree or the performance period comes nearby, all the parties they meet and join hands together for each other's performances. Friends, you have to remember here one thing which is very important. This feedback system is not one way. It is not just that the superiors receive the feedback. It is also the subordinates who give the feedback for their superiors. It can be about how is the leadership, whether they have been given support when they need, whether they are guided by their seniors or not. So related to these kind of things, even the subordinates are asked feedbacks about their superiors. This is done just to evaluate the leadership qualities, the management skills and management competencies of their superiors. So that is why if they join hands together, they will both give good responses for each other, and this will hamper the actual essence of 360-degree appraisal, means receiving the feedbacks in an actual form. So that is why these methods have been again filtered enough to make them more fairer, more transparent and also more ethical. And that is why one orientation is always necessary before they participate into the procedure of feedbacks for anyone. It may be for themselves, that is self-appraisal form, or it may also be giving feedback for their subordinates or superior, both. So this is about the 360-degree performance method. Let us now see what is balanced scorecard. Friends, about balanced scorecard, this was first developed again by a strategist, and this is important because when we analyze through external and internal analysis tools that of scanning, like we have seen so far, that is SWOT analysis or pastel analysis, they are just giving us a broader view of the factors that we are analyzing. What after that? They just indicate, okay, these are the weaknesses, these are the strengths, political environment is like that, so if you enter into this, this will happen. So are they just enough to take the decisions? They are giving you the overview. The decision again lies with the manager. So apart from those analysis, managers also use this. Why? What is the reason to use balanced scorecard? And what it means? Balanced scorecard. Now scorecard is where you have a card where you have noted down some points or based on some criteria. Was this balanced? So let me give you one example, that if there is a pilot of the aeroplane and he has to check all the points before starting his plane, how many things he has to check? There are so many things and it becomes complex, like he will check for the fuel, he will check for the distance to be travelled, he will also check whether the servicing has been done, whether the weather condition is right or not, and so many things. Fine. So that means he cannot skip any one of the aspects, and all the aspects together makes it sense to start his plane. If any one of them is not being tallied or not being checked, he will not go ahead. That is the importance of this balanced scorecard. So he at the time he will check for the cockpits, he will check for all the systems, whether they are being on and not. For any organization, same way, it is not enough to check with only one of the aspect and run its business based on one very good thing which is performing well. So the balanced scorecards talks about measuring something. What it measures? it measures the system in 4 aspects. One is financial aspect, another is internal business perspective, third is innovation and learning perspective, and fourth is employee perspective. I will remark here one thing, that in the original balance scorecard which was developed, instead of employee there was a customer perspective. So companies will have the 4 aspects and they can make slight changes in these aspects, especially here. So financial aspect is always there in the balance scorecard, where it talks about how we are doing financially or how we are performing in a cost and profit relationship. So it will always talk about revenues, earnings, return on investments, cash flows, whether they are coming up, and based on these data, these figures, they can say if we have performed well or not, or how much we have performed. So they are basically measuring the financial perspective, and this will answer the question, that is, how do we look at the stakeholders, how we look at the shareholders. Are we creating any value for our shareholders or not? Second perspective is internal business perspective. The internal business, that means here what must be excel at, how we can excel, where we can excel. So it is talking about increasing the productivity of the business, productivity rate, quality of the business, quality measures, timeline within which they are performing their tasks, and etc. So third perspective comes is innovation and learning perspective. So this will answer the question, can we continue to improve and create value for our customers? So can we continue, yes or not? So how, like in the last lecture also of the strategic planning, we have seen growth strategies, where we talked about if a company wants to grow, it must have a plan for next 10 years in its mind and on paper, so that where it will consider all the major changes that may happen in their knowledge and how they will be coping up with them. So innovation and learning talks about percentage of revenue from new products, employee suggestions, rate of improvement index, etc. And the last is, how do customers see us? And this perspective is customer perspective. So customer perspective will tell us, so this is basically internal perspective and external perspective. So customers are the external parties, how they look at us, what are we in their eyes. So that will talk about morale, knowledge, turnover ratios, issues of best practices, etc. So this is the balance scorecard, and it plays a role to measure all these important aspects with an assumption that none of them alone is enough to tell you how you are performing. So balance scorecard talks about what you measure is what you get, and the base for this was the managers or employees will be affected by the measurement of the system. So how a company measures all the aspects, how a company measures all these 4 aspects will define how their managers and employees will behave. It is subtle, it cannot be seen directly, but it is there, and to see it more transparently, more clearly is the way to assess these 4 aspects. And this is how the balance scorecard works for the organizations. There are more complexities and more details into these. We can discuss in the next lectures about the balance scorecard, and unless I bring you the next management lesson, keep watching and keep learning. For more queries, you can contact me on the given addresses. Thank you.